like to invite Peter Teresi, who is the CEO of Certificial, which is a real-time intelligent insurance verification platform designed to simplify the supplier management process. Here you go, Peter. All yours.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Appreciate that. Yes, I am Peter Teresi, co-founder and CEO of Certificial. We are a real-time insurance verification platform. Actually, the clicker, sorry. Thank you. Great. Center? Maybe? This one? There we go. All right. So, basically, this process today is conducted using a form that looks kind of like this. I'm sure everyone in the room is familiar with it, right? And the problem with documents throughout this process is that it will always introduce a point-in-time aspect to the information. And that makes it nearly impossible in insurance to really have any level of compliance because there's really nothing about insurance that's point in time. So the method in which we verify and monitor insurance really should not be either. Furthermore, there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into the production and the maintaining of these documents. You look inside an agent's or broker's office, you'll see a tremendous amount of work that gets done. And that goes on into the insured, right? They're ultimately their client, which now is trying to close business and is somewhat disrupted by gaining access to these documents. And then so on to what we call requesters, or traditionally are known as certificate holders, who go through a great deal of effort to key in this information and constantly try and track down new certs. For all those reasons, we've created Certificial. And what Certificial does is it basically brings all three stakeholders together. And we have really invested a great amount of time in building this product with each of them in mind. So ultimately, we have an open API application which integrates directly with insurance provider systems. What that allows us to do is to put the policies online for the insured through a nice intuitive portal. And we've designed various different workflows between the insured and the requester so that we can both share, request information, and do so against insurance requirements. We've also built out various different workflows so that we can support everything from blanket endorsements to very complex type of endorsements. So everything you would technically expect to see on a rather detailed cert, we've actually done through a complete electronic workflow. Now the benefit of that is we build relationships here, business relationships, that can live on for years. Right? So you don't need to go and worry about, oh, I have a policy that's going to expire, I gotta go get a new cert. This is designed to live as long as the relationship lives for the business. And ultimately, keep everybody with real-time compliance so that everyone is notified if there is such deficiencies that are detected by the system. So ultimately what we're doing here is we're reducing operational costs for all stakeholders. We are able to increase compliance by upwards of 99% due to the real-time nature of the data. And we're also able to, using our APIs and third-party integrations, which maybe we can get a little bit into the QA section, we're able to detect and prevent uninsured activities without any human intervention. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take you through a very quick product demo. And what we'll do here is I'll show you a nice workflow, how easy it is to share a policy. So we notice here in the upper right-hand corner, we are currently, oh, wait. Now we're moving. Sorry, but I'm gonna keep going. So what you will see in a second is that in the upper right-hand corner, we are in insured mode. And the cool thing about our application is that we realize that our customers play both roles. And so just using a toggle switch, you can actually switch between insured mode and requester mode. So you can actually use one profile to service both of those. And that's what I'm showing there in the upper right-hand corner. So the next thing to really to pay attention to is here in the center, right? These policies, they were all created using our APIs. And so they're always up to speed, or always up to date, should I say. And when we expand the policy, you'll see the information that's collected. And we can also see our insurance agent. Most importantly is the last verification date there. And we aim for that to never be more than 24 hours out of date, although this is a pre-recording, so don't hold me to that particular date. And all these policies are verified. So now, moving on to the shared policies, top-down approach. This is my company, the policies that have been made available for sharing, as well as any organizations that I might be sharing them with. Now on Certificial, you do not necessarily need to wait for a request for insurance to come in. You can go ahead and initiate your own sharing of information by using the Share My Policy button up here. this launches a workflow where you can search for a company or you can put an email address in. Clearly, we're going to use an email address because I want to show you a pretty cool way we invite organizations to the system. These next few screens, we're going to be selecting policies. I am granting and selecting blanket endorsements that have been enabled by my agent. I'm doing this to keep it simple so we don't have to go through another layer of approval. We're going to select commercial general liability and a workers' comp policy. We're going to do some basic. We're going to skip over the cyber and bring us to the last screen here, where we're going to have the option to generate a certificate of insurance. We're going to go ahead and populate the certificate holder information, which we can pull from an address book, and we're basically going to go ahead and submit. It's that simple. As an insured, I just shared my information. What we're going to notice here on the Share My Policies, I have a new relationship. When I click on that, it will open up the record. You'll be able to see the policy information that I've shared with this individual. If I expand it, you'll be able to see the endorsements that have been granted. And the cool part is that the person, the recipient of that email, when they receive it, which will look like this, they will basically have an invitation to come to Certificial and join the platform and start monitoring real-time insurance. However, we're not forcing a hand here. If they're not interested in Certificial and not convinced it's for them, you'll notice there's a cert attached right there to that email that was created and generated by the system during the share process. However, more importantly is to bring you back to this and to note the expiring policy, which basically means that the cert will soon expire, right? And this is classic. This happens all the time. In our world, when an agent renews a policy in their agency management system, those updated policy dates make it to our system, to the insured, and are reflected on every share to my relationships. So we can see my policy is now updated based on that renewal. If I hit that Generate COI button there, basically me or the person I am sharing with can generate an updated document if they so want it. Went by a little bit quick there, but there was some updated commercial general liability effective dates. And ultimately, I wanted to take you through this workflow. You see a little bit of the power of the application. More importantly, the benefits that we receive by transforming this process. So again, thank you very much. I know there's a lot of information, very quick, but I do welcome any questions, feedback the audience might have. So thank you. Please. Sorry.
I'm curious about where you guys are in your in the phase of your business.
Yeah, so ultimately, we started building about 1.5 years ago. We did this hand in hand with agents, brokers, requesters, all the key stakeholders. We launched in September. We have a number of agents that have been working with us over the build of the product that are live. So it is live. It is working in production. No, we didn't do that until about September when we launched. They were definitely working with us because there's a lot they needed to go into this before they were willing to even let them put it into production, right? So a lot of checks and balances here. However, we've signed some wonderful contracts over the last few months. We will have upwards of 40 to 60,000, let's say, insured or policyholders sharing information on our application. And some of that's even causing us to now go globally too. So we're actually expanding currently to both the Canadian market and Europe. Thank you.
I think I saw a couple of hands. Perfect.
Yep. I know you all have questions because this is a very sensitive topic here.
It's a very important topic. I like the way that you've organized all of this. Now, I'm curious about the flip side of it, right? There's two problems with certificates of insurance. One is the certificate holder making sure that they have current information.
Correct.
And then the other is the certificate grantor who's put all sorts of certificates out there in the world, some of which they may not need to be offering anymore. So do you have two sides of this?
Yes. So ultimately, I wish I could switch around again. But the first view I was showing when you saw a graph that went top down is really the insured's view, right? And we make it look different purposely so when you switch the application, you kind of know what mode you're in. And so you can have 500, cert holders. It's no problem. You can literally get rid of them just by clicking and deleting them. Of course, we do the notifications, etc. But ultimately, it's very easy to maintain your cert holders. Or, again, we call them requesters. I just use that terminology because I think that's what the rest of the world is still very familiar with. But yes, if you flip that application, you are then a requester. You can program your own insurance requirements into the system. We have integrations with AM Best. We do real-time rating against policies. There's a tremendous amount of value that you can get by doing systematic comparison against your requirements and the policy shared on our system.
Peter, sorry. Can you share a little bit about the competitive landscape? Who do you compete with, and where do you see yourself in that competitive landscape?
I'll be honest with you. I have monitored this landscape for quite some time. This is a project I've really wanted to execute for some time. I see some innovative technology, but I see it very focused on certain aspects of the value chain. So I see some really cool technology coming out where we're able to service the request, we're able to get data off of forms and get it into the system and stop rekeying. And I see some agents and brokers coming up with some really cool way of producing certs. I'm still seeing point-in-time information on either side of that. All right, the data needs to flow end-to-end electronically, because you'll never get, as soon as there's a document anywhere along that lines, and I don't know a competitor that's really truly that's not representing their own book of business, at least, that's truly doing this end-to-end, data-driven. Again, you can see we haven't eliminated the cert. We've properly positioned it.
All right, there's one last question here.
Yeah, great demo, thank you.
Thank you.
As far as the carriers, do you have any carriers signed up? And what if a carrier isn't signed up and is being requested?
So all right, so two great questions. One is we are working with carriers, but I will tell you that we're very focused on the agent broker market right now. We know that this problem ultimately sits in their court. Even if you deal with a carrier, there's still an agent within their organization that has to deal with this. We are working with carriers. So to answer that question, and if someone is being requested that they need their agent on the system, the same way we did an invite for that, and we've got information waiting for you when you get there, we do the same thing with agents. We're also making ourselves available in various app stores on agency management systems, making it very easy for agents to basically just opt into Certificial and start putting their clients' information on our system.
What's this cost for agents?
Nothing. So we are here in partnership with the agents and brokers. We do not charge their clients, the insureds. We make our money only when and if a requester decides to sign up and start monitoring insurance. Cool?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the questions. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.